What's up, guys? On the Fly. It's a special night for On the Fly tonight, the 100th episode of On the Fly. And we are so happy to be here with you tonight. We're coming live, me and Warden. And we've got a special guest tonight, a guy I've been talking back and forth with for a while. He's a fellow Kiss fan. And no one better to debut our new whatever you want to call it, a new segment of the show that we're going to try to do more up here. Is it's this one is called the Black Diamond Kiss Draft. So tonight with us is Mr. Steve Wright from the Potter Than Hell podcast. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. How are you? Congratulations on your 100th episode here. I believe we're on tonight. And listen, you guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Steve.
Thanks for being here.
Steve and the guys at Potter Than Hell have done what is this 308 that you got published now? 308 episodes, or is it 309?
Like that, yeah.
It's over 300. That just kills me right there. That I mean, you guys have done this long, and if you guys have not checked out the Potter Than Hell podcast, it sounds like it's primarily a Kiss podcast, but not the case. It's like us. They talk about a little bit of everything over there. So every kind of music that you can think of. And they have some funny segments on that show too. We were just talking about, they do the trivia up there, and there was a Motley Crue and Van Halen surprise trivia episode. And when you get put on the clock and have to, one of them was having to name, I think it was all the songs off the Van Halen albums between 85 to 91, and then Motley Crue albums from 83 to 89. And whoever it was that got the Motley Crue just froze up 5 out of 30. And I was sitting there screaming in my car when I was listening to it. Girls, 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 come on, dude. Girls, girls, girls. But yeah, it's different when you're behind the clock, just like we were talking about.
Yeah, it's tough when you're under the gun.
Yeah. So, like I said, tonight we're going to debut a new segment. It's an album draft. What we're going to do tonight, and to give you an example, we're taking the first 3 Kiss albums, which is the self-titled album, and then Hotter Than Hell and Dressed to Kill. We're taking all those songs off those albums, and we're putting them all together, and we're going to draft them. We're going to get a randomizer and see who goes first, who goes through the draft order.
Oh, and you said first 3. I thought you said last 3.
Liar. Don't do that to me, man.
Boy, that'd be a fun one.
That would be your, you go ahead. Yeah. You go right ahead. You can have all of those last 2.
One out of 3.
Do it for the next one. Do the first 3, then the last 3.
I guess 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. So, but before we get into that, there is news in the Kiss world. Vinnie Vincent, back to his old tricks again. The Act Warrior, back to his old mystical tricks again. Announces and cans his new singer within a week. Scott Board. I'm not familiar with Scott Board. Do you know anything about Scott Board, Steve?
No, I never heard the guy's name until I saw the apparently the unofficial press release that was official until it wasn't. Never heard of the guy. He looked happy to be there. I bet you he's turned that smile as a frown now.
And I mean, what is up with this? Why do people keep buying into this? No offense to you Vinny fans out there, that's fine.
Both of them.
Everybody talks about the Ace cult. There's a definite Vinny cult out there too. When are people going to start seeing that this guy, something's not right here? What do you think, Warden?
Never underestimate the power of stupid people. I mean, there's a sucker born every minute. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It just people want to believe what they want to believe, Vinny's tapped into that evidently. I mean, only thing he needs to do is start selling a magic book and he'll be perfect.
Yeah. It seems to me that how do I put this? Like we met him, we did a meet and greet thing at one of the horror conventions in New Jersey, like after he came out of or whatever in Atlanta like a couple months later. And, we stood in line. We got the autograph. He did a bumper for our show. We haven't used it yet, but he was super cool to us, super nice with it. Like he queued up the song we asked him to, and he did the bumper for us. And I think that's how the people get suckered in, because personally he's nice to you, but it must be the business end of it that he just bangs these people. And it just seems like, if you're dealing with him on a personal level, if you're paying him, it seems like, people like, oh, he's, but how many times can you seriously give someone the benefit of the doubt?
Exactly. And I'm looking at his, this came off ultimateclassicrock.com. And it says the confusion was documented in a series of posts on the Vinnie Vincent Legion Facebook group. My moment of happiness was jamming it out with my new singer, Scott Board, in our first studio shred performance of some of my favorite songs. For me, the best time playing with the singer I've had since Rob, talking about Robert Fleischman, and I cut the first Vinnie Vincent Invasion record. He also saluted Board, writing, "You the man, my friend. Here's to us. I raise my glass to you, and it's only the beginning, my friend." So now you fast forward to May 29th, 6 days later, issued another statement claiming he was not moving forward with Board. Vinnie has not officially chosen a singer at this point and has decided to keep looking. Any affirmative wording regarding a vocalist is misconstrued. Anyone claiming that prized position is incorrect and should immediately cease from promoting that belief and narrative to others. Well, you did it. You were the one that said your new singer. I mean,
sounds like they get the gig and they get to know him and then they're gone. That's what it kind of sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Slaughter doesn't talk. I mean, I'm not a big Vinnie fan, but Mark Slaughter and Dana Strum have said a lot of stuff about him. And of course, Gene and Paul, I mean, that's obviously somebody's opinion, but there's a pattern there. So
I just always go back. Every time I hear something like this, I always go back to Gene on Extreme Close Up. He would hang himself just as you were about to give him the keys to the kingdom. Every time. Truer words have never been spoken. And Board has actually came out now. As a lifetime Kiss fan, I was very humbled and honored to be asked to join forces with Vinnie Vincent, not only to sing with him in his album listening party last weekend in Nashville, but I was also asked by Vinnie to become his new lead singer a few weeks ago after hearing my vocals on a number of his songs, along with samples of some of my other performances.
Maybe there's a bipolar thing going on here. I mean, it's like Steve said, he's nice as can be in person, but probably when you get to know him, he may just be double personality. That could be what's happening. Like, hey, we're going to write songs. We're going to do great. That's what happened with Kiss. Yeah, well, it didn't turn out so good.
Yeah. And Board said the day after Vinnie said all those nice words about him, his camp, he received radio silence from the guitarist in his camp. The next thing I know, I received a message from a friend stating Vinnie had released a new statement that he had not named a new singer and that the prior message about me being his new vocalist was misconstrued. I was never contacted by Vinnie or anyone in his camp advising that anything was wrong, nor was I ever informed I was no longer the singer for Vinnie. This came totally out of the blue, and I'm still scratching my head as to exactly what happened. I didn't go into any of this blindly or without knowledge of the history surrounding this artist, but I honestly didn't think this would have happened at this juncture of the journey.
honestly, the dude's better off. Can you imagine getting in there and not getting paid? Probably. Cut your losses now, bro. Move on. Look, this is a warning from whatever God's up there you believe in. He's sending you a warning, going, "Hey, steer clear of this dude."
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on from that. So let's get to know Steve a little bit here. Steve, we're all big time Kiss fans here. When and how did you get into Kiss? What was your first memory of becoming a Kiss fan?
My first memory, I was at my friend Shane Jurgen's at his house, and we were just kind of hanging out, and it was 1976, in the fall of 76. And, of course, you're going to go snoop in the brother's bedroom. So we go in, he had a bunch of albums, and I had been a music fan like I picked out the Elvis albums and all that stuff I listened to, and just flipping through his records, and boom, Destroyer. I'm like, yo, what is this? I had heard the name before, but I never, associated anything with it. So I'm like, well, let's put it on. And then, so of course, Detroit Rock City, you get all that weird stuff in the beginning, and the radio in the car and all that shit. And then when it hit that down, and I'm like, that changed the course of my life that day. And probably maybe after the solo, his brother comes in the room. What the hell are you guys doing in my room? Blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to beat the shit out of me. And he sees I have the album, and he's like, oh, he said, you like that? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we only got like through the first song. He goes, well, I'll make a tape of it for you. I'm like, wow. All right. So he taped it for me on like one of the old Maxell 60-minute tapes, taped it for me. And I wore that out, and I was finally able to get, I got the first Kiss album on cassette after that. And it's been a ride ever since then.
You want to hear something funny? And I just thought about it when you said get the first Kiss, the self-titled album. It was years, because my mom and dad were always supportive of it. I was like, gosh, 5 years old, and I saw the Destroyer album at my older cousin's, but for some reason, and I've never heard their explanation for it, they didn't want to get the self-titled album for me for some reason. I don't know what it was, but every other album, I need to go back and find the pictures. Easter presents. I would take pictures every Easter. 1 year I got the Elder for Easter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Were you bad that year?
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, every year we were getting albums and taking pictures with it. I'd go to school dressed up in my Ace Frehley Halloween costume or whatever. But I was the diehard Kiss fan, the one, and all the other people didn't stick with them, and I stuck with them around here at least.
Yeah, my mom still will call me or let me know if she hears that Kiss is going to be on a TV show, or if they're on, she'll call me, turn on channel, whatever Kiss is on. She still does that to this day. Yeah,
my mom same way. If she hears, she said, I heard Beth playing the other day. She always loved Peter Criss, but she was always real supportive. Like I told Warden, we did a Rod Stewart.
Unless you had a Rod Stewart album.
Yeah, she would not
Rod Stewart.
Look, it was funny, and I think about it now. The Rod Stewart, what was Hot Legs? That was it. Or do you think I'm sexy? Now you are not to listen to Rod Stewart, but yet I get rock and roll over with put your hands in my pocket, grab hold to my rocket. Yeah, and I'm going around singing that around the house. So
plus she subject you to the elders. So God, that's man. I don't know about that.
That was your punishment for listening to Rod Stewart.
Look,
hey. Oh, Rod Stewart.
Not because it's bad, but because he wasn't supposed to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I took the elder. I took the elder to school one day for show and tell.
Did they suspend you?
Yeah. Well, my teacher was ready to
send home.
Mr. Blackwell came on, and she was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, especially when he said, "Mr. Blackwell, well, you can go to hell." She was like, "Okay, that'll be enough of that."
Like, well, you didn't want to hear Just a Boy?
I was thinking she might throw it out when she heard Odyssey.
God, anybody would.
I know. Oof.
Fanfare. She was one of those. I don't know how to say what kind of teacher, but she was the public television lady. She that was all she watched and stuff like that.
Progressive.
Yeah,
Steve,
I guess whatever. I don't like to typecast anybody, but when Fanfare,
that's what she was.
Look, Fanfare comes on, and she's like, "Oh, what do you do? Yeah. What are you doing? Listen to something like this?" And she was all smiles, but then Mr. Black, you can go to hell. What are you listening to?
Fanfare is what I listen to on NPR, so I'm good.
So let's get right down to business. And this is our first time, so bear with us, guys. We're gonna.
And I've never done a draft in my life, so I'll probably.
Yeah, Steve. I don't know if I told you that Warden is.
Yeah, you did. Like you've never done fantasy football or anything.
No, I'm a Cowboy fan. I suffer enough.
He lives in the world of make-believe every year.
Yeah, I don't have to have extra. I mean,
you don't need extra pain.
I don't need extra pain.
Speaking of the elder being a fairy tale, how about them Cowboys? Good Lord.
The season hasn't even started yet, dude.
I know.
It's already
That's
over.
what I'm saying.
Whatever.
All right. I don't know if you can see that. That's a randomizer. It's got all our names up there. I'm getting ready to spin to see who gets the first pick. So 1, 2, 3.
5,000. 5,000. Oh, not Wheel of Fortune.
No whammy. No whammy.
Jason, you get the first pick.
Right.
All right. Now let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and get the second pick. So, and if it comes up Jason again, you're not going to get a second pick.
Oh, damn.
Steve gets the second pick. So,
All right.
Steve and Jason goes first, and Steve, then Stevie. So, all right. So you get first pick, Big Shot. And let me bring up.
Let me ask you a question. So with this, my first pick doesn't. It's not any kind of order. It's just a
No, I mean I'm not going to go. We're not going to go by like what's going to be the lead off to the start of your record.
Okay.
You just get
what the strongest. What the strongest list is.
Right. You want to pick to have the best album at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to call it that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I go?
Yeah. You pick what you want. Just tell me what you're going to pick.
I'm going go big or go home. I'm going for the biggest hit on this whole 3 albums, Rock and Roll All Night.
Ah, you can have it, buddy.
I had that ranked 28.
Really?
That was.
I guess our drafts are going to be a lot different.
Wait a minute.
This will be on my draft. Okay.
I'm trying to. Okay, what did this thing just do? It doesn't matter. I'll come up with it. All right, you guys got a sheet anyway. So, Steve,
I am going to Dress to Kill album first. I'm going with a little "Come On and Love Me."
Come on and love me. Okay, I got you. That's a practice sheet there, guys. Hold on. Y'all made that easy for me. All right, my pick. So, Jason, what we're gonna do now? When I pick, I'll get 2 picks in a row now because I'm third. I'm coming back. We're coming back around. Okay.
Okay. I guess. I'm trusting you. I don't
know.
But
then you get 2 picks.
2 picks.
I'm the only one that gets screwed. Only 1 pick per round.
Okay.
I'm always in the middle. Whenever we do a draft, 98% of the time I'm in the middle. So I'm used to it. It must be the middle child thing.
Oh Lord, I was a baby, so I didn't have to worry about it. So mine is probably one of my all-time favorite Kiss songs.
Kiss and Tell.
Black Diamond. Black Diamond. All right, so now, let me see. My list is mixed up here, so I'm having to pull it up. I don't know what happened right then. I might have to pull up what the track listings are. Don't want that, no.
While we're young, Junior.
Oh, I know what I want. Strange Ways. All right.
That ranks 21.
Steve.
All right. So I am going to pick Parasite. I didn't think that would last the first round, truthfully.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jason.
My turn?
You get 2 picks in a row now, okay?
Okay. First pick is Firehouse.
Oh, that was my number 1.
Okay.
Right. Hold on. All right.
My next one is Rock Bottom.
You butthead. All right, now we come back to Steve.
Oh, I see how it's going now. Okay.
You get it now?
Yeah, I get it. Only takes me a couple of tries. You know me, I'm kind of slow.
Yeah, I know you are.
All right, let's go for a little more Paul Stanley. Let's go a little Room Service.
Nice.
All right. This is going to be tough here. All right. I know a lot of people don't like this song. It gets bashed on the Shout Out Live cast a lot, but I'm going Let Me Go Rock and Roll. And it's not.
I like that one.
Elvis liked it.
I love the live version. You know,
Man, on Kiss Alive, that's crazy good.
Yes.
Elvis liked it.
Elvis did like it.
Apparently he did.
And since Jason took, or Warden, excuse me, he didn't like that. I'm going to go Love Her All I Can.
Okay, I'm going for a deep cut.
Whoop. My turn, right?
Sorry, my bad. I'll shut up now.
It's coming back around now.
Sorry.
No problem. I can't believe this song's still here also. Deuce, baby, Deuce.
I was trying to wait it out. Now
you can't wait that one out.
I'm going for a deep cut. My favorite Ace solo, Getaway.
Good one.
And
my one buddy hates that. The getaway, you gotta get away. When they double the words, he said that drives me crazy. I don't know why I like it.
And my second one is Strutter.
What hit? All right, Mr. Steve.
Let's do a little when you're down in the dumps and it needs something to bring you up. Let's get a little bit of cold gin.
Oh nice. My God. You know, I'll say this about Cold Gin Live here lately, and I think you guys talked about it a little bit, Steve. Paul's intro to Cold Gin is horrible. I mean, especially I just don't like, and another thing I don't like at the end, I can't hear you. Then the last one, Cold Gin. I said, well, if you couldn't hear him, you should have said it from the start, dude.
That's why you need to listen to the Animal Uncensored version.
God.
That's better. That's a lot better.
You know, and we've been hearing the same version of that since 1975. Not the same version, but same variation of the same thing since 1975. I mean, like,
I love it. I don't get tired of it.
I think it would just be great if songs like that where you hear that all the time, just go right into it. Like it'd be a surprise. Holy shit, Cold Gin
instead of an intro.
10,
that's true.
10 minutes be talking before it.
All right. Okay. I got 2 picks in a row, so I can take one here. Coming Home. Did not really care for that song till Unplugged. Didn't really pay attention to it till Unplugged, and then I was like, where did this come from? And then I was like, oh yeah. So
when they played it, it was like, what song is this?
Exactly. I was like, I don't remember hearing this song before. All right. And just because of the live version of this too, Nothing to Lose. So now, Steve, we're going through this list pretty good.
All right, let's see. Another one that I'm kind of surprised is still here. She.
Ooh.
All righty. Mine is Hotter Than Hell. I love that. Hotter Than Hell and Got to Choose. That's my 2 I'm picking.
Okay, so Got to Choose is going to be your next?
Yeah, Hotter Than Hell and Got to Choose.
I wonder who's going to be.
I love that song because even though it gets crap about it, I love Got to Choose.
I wonder who's going to get the Kissing Time. Who is going to get stuck with Kissing Time?
Does that mean you lose if you get that one?
We'll see.
There's a couple songs that are worse than that on here.
Yeah, there he is. But
worse than Kissing Time?
Oh yeah.
I don't see one.
I'm looking at 2 right here.
I'm
looking at 3.
I do not see a worse song on here than Kissing Time. Huh. That's interesting to see what
you'll find out. Mm-hmm. You'll find out what Steve thinks then.
Yeah.
Steve's pick.
I guess so.
All right, so I'm going to pick. One's dead. I'm
kind of surprised it hadn't been picked.
Give me 100,000 Years.
Okay.
I can see that one. That wasn't the one.
Taking so long.
I wanted to get another Paul song there. It was a little Gene heavy for a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm looking. I hadn't really looked to see who I'm heavy on. Peter.
Excuse me.
I better watch out. I say that I'm heavy on Peter.
I knew it. It all comes out.
Yeah. So 2 picks in a row. First one's gonna be All the Way.
That's a good one.
This is where it gets tough here. I do not want to pick that one. Whew. Okay. I don't think anybody's 2-timer.
Have it. Ugh,
Is that one of the two?
That's one of the two.
Dude, I love that song.
Yeah. God.
Love the whole Dress to Kill album.
Ugh.
So you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get stuck with the last pick. So, fire away, I think. Steve?
Let's see. I'm going with Let Me Know. I'd go insane if they ever pulled that out live.
Oh, good Lord. That won't happen.
I am going to go.
These are your last 2 picks now, Warden.
I am going to go with Watching You.
I can't believe that didn't get picked. Where have I been?
And Anything From My Baby.
I've already picked that.
You did?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Nope.
No,
Anything From My Baby.
Yeah, I picked Lover All I Can.
Yeah.
All right. Last pick for Steve.
Last pick for me. I am going with Kissin' Time for my last pick.
So, you know what I get stuck with?
I love that song. It's
Going
fun.
Blind and Ladies in Waiting.
The first time I heard it, because I was like, that was a Christmas one year. I got a bunch of cassettes, and they finally let me get the self-titled one. And I remember playing it on a Walkman. So I really, really had a banner year that year with a Walkman. And I don't know if you guys had them or not. You remember those double-decker, looked like suitcases that you held your cassettes in?
Boombox.
No,
you're talking about the case. Yeah,
the actual cases. I had a double-decker one, and I was determined to fill that thing up too. And when we went on trips, like sports teams and all that on the bus, I was always the DJ because I had like the suitcase coming on with it. Forget your equipment, dude. As long as you got the suitcase with you, you're good.
Yeah, and then years later, it morphed into the CD wallet.
Yeah. So
What's 2 are left? What 2 are left?
Love Theme from Kiss. That should be the last one because it's 30 songs.
Who picked Mainline?
Nobody. Oh,
yeah, Mainline's still out there.
How are we?
Mainline and Going Blind are still out there.
So 10, 20, 30. Oh, so we got one more pick. We still got one more pick. I'm looking at our names up here. So we still got one more pick apiece.
One more pick of 1 or one more pick of 2?
No, I've got 2. I've got 2 picks actually. Okay. So guess what I'm gonna take? I'm gonna take Mainline. And then just to keep.
No, you have 10 already, don't you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, this will be 10 right here.
All right. I
can't my name. See the names up there are the first column.
Our name does not count as a song.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's wrote a name called Jason Warden yet.
All right, let me see if I must have wrote one down different. Hang on, Black Diamond.
Who do you got?
Let me go. All I can. Coming home. Nothing to lose. All the way. 2-timer. Oh, who? 6, 7, 8, 9. Did Jason pick Going Blind, right?
No, he just said.
Oh, okay.
That was available.
That's where I messed up. That's where I messed up because I thought that was a pick. Okay.
Well, it's going to be now. So, so that's my last pick. It's
So
going
there's
to
2 left.
Yeah. So Steve,
Okay.
One for me and one for you.
Yes.
Steve's
So what do we
got
got left? We have Ladies in Waiting, right? And Kissing
And Going
and
Blind.
Love Theme, right?
Yep.
Ladies in Waiting and Love Theme. Give me Love Theme from Kiss. I hate Ladies in Waiting. That is the worst song on all 3 albums.
Jeez. I'll take Ladies in Waiting. I love it.
Boom, boom, boom. It kind of
Because it's
reminds
cool.
me of
Ace's band has been doing that as like an interlude during his shows. The Love Theme. Like Ace goes off. I mean, he's old. He needs a break. So the band has been playing that. It's been pretty cool.
All right. So Ladies in Waiting. It kind of reminds me of the bass line. Kind of reminds me of one of Warden's favorite songs, Torpedo Girl.
It's Love Theme from. Remember when that song by Pearl Jam came out, Alive? I remember like thinking I heard that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's Love Theme from Kiss. It's Love Theme from Kiss.
Yep.
So let's go over this. Jason got the first pick. How many Gene songs have you got up here? 1, 2. You really ain't got many Gene songs, do you, bud?
Probably mostly Paul, right?
Yeah. Rock and Roll All Night, Firehouse.
He's got Watching You, Ladies in Waiting, Rock and Roll All Night.
So you got 4
For Gene.
Gene. And then the rest of them, do you have any? Well, you got
I have
one
Peter.
Yeah, you got one Peter.
Getaway. We all have one Peter, Steve.
And then the rest are Paul's.
Yeah.
So no aces.
So 6 Pauls and 1 Gene or 3 Gene and 1 Peter.
Wow. So
Which makes sense. Paul's my guy. So
Come On and Love Me, Parasite, Room Service. Jeez. Of course, the instrumental at the end. Kissing Time would be. What would you consider that? Gene and Paul, like trading back and forth.
Yeah, I think
they all. Well, actually, the
Peter,
right?
Peter,
Yeah,
too.
Peter
Peter,
too.
Yeah, all except for Ace.
Yeah. Can you imagine Ace singing on that? Have to make another verse for Ace.
It would almost be as bad as You Wanted the Best.
Because it's not your place. I can't do Zeus. I'm sorry.
Ugh. That is brutal.
So we're going to put these up on social media. We're going to put them up on our Facebook group. We'll put them up on Twitter, on the Fly Twitter, and let you guys vote. You Kiss fans out there, vote and see who got it right. Right now, looking at it, I think it's going to be tight. I really do. If I had to, I'm satisfied with mine because I didn't have to pick. No offense, Kissing Time. But I do remember the first time hearing that on cassette, and I was like, "This is different. This is really different."
I don't get the hate for that song. I don't
either. And the thing is, I mean, back in the day, we didn't know. When I first got it, the album had been out for like a good 3 years, and I didn't know, until way later that that the original album was just the 9 songs, that they put that on there after it was initially released, and I like it. I've never not liked that one.
Then again, I don't get how you don't like Two Timer or Ladies in Waiting either. So
see, I you know what? I think those songs feel rushed. And so you went to the market. I'm like, oh God, it's
okay.
worthy.
Let me ask you guys something. If there was one song on this list that you never had to hear again, or you don't like, just one, what would it be?
I just said mine.
Which one? Two Timer?
No, Ladies in Waiting.
Ladies in Waiting.
Yeah, two timer. I can stomach because I like the chorus better.
You know what? And
but Going Blind is a close one too.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna probably tick off a lot of people, but if I never had to hear it again, it'd be all right. But it's because of fatigue. Rock and Roll All Night. Jeez.
So but you know what? You gotta take yourself back to when you first heard it.
Yeah.
You can't go. You can't. I've been trying to do that lately. When we'll do an episode on, say, Van Halen or whatever, like people are, oh my God, Jump, you know, you heard it a million times. Like, just, I try to put myself back to the first time and when I was first getting into these bands and how I felt about the song then. You know, I mean, of course, you know, you're going to be fatigued on this. I mean, they've been playing it every show since 1974. And, you know, you're, you know, if you do hear any Kiss on the, you know, mainstream radio, you're going to hear Detroit Rock City, Rock and Roll Night, and maybe Calling Dr. Love.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, absolute fatigue factor. I would be happy to not hear that. I liked it when they did the Revenge tour and they played it in the middle of the set. I thought that was cool. You know, it was different. It was different, you know, and although God Gave Rock and Roll to You is not a favorite of mine either, but I like it better when they play that when you're walking out. But it was different though. I liked how they threw that in there and kind of in the middle of the set, you know, and like even then you're kind of thinking, was there only like 10 songs in this show? Are they going off already?
I guess if I had to pick one song that I never had to hear again, and it's not because I'm tired of it, I never liked it. And it may be because what it's about. Nothing to Lose has never been one of my favorites. I just think about, I mean, before I even knew what it was about, I knew what it was about. You know, and it was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, it's like, I don't know, man. It just always kind of repulsed me. And I'm not trying to be a snob, you know, hand in pocket, grab onto a rocket. But that's just nasty, bro. That's just something. Okay. If I never hear that song again, I'm fine.
So, Warden, with you though, you came to Kiss late, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when you started listening to Kiss?
I got into Kiss around 86, so I was probably 70. I was about 14. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, but I went back and listened to.
Oh, I know.
Like
that's
the
what
albums and
about.
Stuff like that.
That's
but
why
I remember
you probably had an idea of what that was about then.
And I don't know if I don't really listen to the first album that much, but a copy of an album that I had or a cassette I had back in the day, I guess
live,
in the
right?
80s, it had the live version.
Had the live version.
Yeah,
because they didn't want to pay the guy royalties to play the jaunty piano on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
yeah. And I remember listening to Shout Out Loud, and they were with that. Who's that comedian they had on there? And he said he asked Gene if that was about that, and Gene's like, "Yes."
Oh, the Peters guy.
Yeah, and it was like,
I can't remember what his name was now.
I'm not that's if that was one song could be erased from the whole catalog. I mean, give me Torpedo Girl any day above that one, dude. But you're not telling Steve. You're not telling Steve the whole story. I had to search for an Ace song. I had to search for 10 Ace songs that I actually like. So I'm not an Ace guy. So he's not my favorite. So Torpedo Girl, and Tom backs me up on this. Torpedo Girl is not a bad song. It's a lot better than Nothing to Lose. God,
so you had to pick 10 Ace songs that Ace sings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I
mean, there's not a whole lot of them to begin with.
Well, we did include solo stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
and I still couldn't do it.
Oh, like Frehley's Comet stuff or just a solo album?
And I still
Frehley's Comet stuff. Okay, I could do that. But Kiss songs,
it's not a lot. Might be tough. If it was just Kiss songs, and I could see putting Torpedo Girl at the end, but
you realize also, like you said it, I grew up with Bruce as my guy. Ace kind of went back. You know, I'm more of a new. You know, I'm like Jericho, I guess.
He kind of
depends on when you get in there. Yeah.
He came in about the same time as Sonny Pooney did.
The makeup was always something that was cool, but when they got back together with their Union tour, I was devastated. I was like, they're going to be a nostalgia act, and I was right.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of that has to do with when you came in too. You know, and I thought they hit a certain groove at that point too. With like I was kind of out of Kiss for a while around Crazy Nights. I was there, but I wasn't there. And Hot in the Shade really pulled me back in. It was the first, which is insane that the first time I got to see Kiss, being a fan since '76, was Hot in the Shade tour. But like that album brought me back in, and then Revenge, they were hitting a certain groove. And then when they did Unplugged, my wife and I were watching it, and BC came up, and I looked at BC. I said, "They're getting back together." As soon as Ace and Peter came out, I'm like, "This is it." You're not going to see Eric and Bruce for a while again.
I can admit they wouldn't have survived without it. They had to do it. It had run its course.
Yep.
I mean, when they released that debacle called Carnival of Souls, it's like, yeah, it's time. Maybe it's time to get back to better than Nostalgia Act.
Going back to Rock and Roll All Night, though, I will say this: the one version I do enjoy, I can listen to, is the Brooklyn Bridge version, the one that was on the MTV. I can listen to that one over and over again and not get tired of it. There was something about that. I can remember, though, you talk about a reunion tour. You guys know where you were when you watched Unplugged, but on the phone back in the day on the little cordless phone and watching the Grammy Awards and having no idea. And then they come walking out and I'm like, I remember, it was some girl I was on the phone with. And I was like, my exact words were, holy shit. And she was like, what? I said, this girl is not.
And she never called him back.
It was our last conversation.
I'm sitting there debating to myself, okay, do I say this out loud to her? Why I said holy shit or not? But yeah, I said it, and the rest is history. Yeah, she's not.
She's not your wife,
now.
so
no, she's not here. So
I just remember getting a lot of shit for liking Kiss in the '80s. Oh, they're not Rat, they're not Cinderella. But I remember those same people that gave me shit about that. 10 years later in '96, they were going to the shows. Oh, I never liked Kiss, but I'm going.
Yeah,
which is sad because I think their Hot in the Shade tour blew away the reunion tour, but that's me.
I agree, but I was happy to see them in the makeup, back because I had never got to see them back in the day, and even then, I was like, man, Peter's weak. He's it's
I thought
that beat for every song. It's like Rock and Roll Night drum beat for every song, just about. It seems like. But I mean, I was very happy to see them though.
I saw the reunion tour, and I will say I was disappointed because granted they were 20 years older, and if I would have seen them in '75, it would have been a different story.
Right.
But I saw them in '89, '90, and stuff like that. That's the Kiss I grew up with, and it's just that there's something about the makeup. The makeup paved the way for everything. I'm not stupid enough to admit that. I don't say one Kiss is better than the other. I like all eras of the band. I have my favorite, but I love all. It's like Van Halen. It's like AC/DC. I like all eras of the band. They're different parts of the band, but you can like Bon, you can like Brian, you can like Ace, you can like Bruce. There's no reason why. I don't like New Kiss.
Well, I think Warden's already answered this question. But what was your favorite era, Steve, of the band? Favorite lineup.
I'm split. I'm split between the classic era up to Dynasty. I'm never really a fan of Unmasked, but the 80s stuff, I have a soft spot for that too, because that was when I was old enough to start going out and we started partying, and that a lot of those songs were the soundtrack for that. And it seemed like the older Kiss stuff was for the stuff sitting in my room listening to, and the 80s party stuff was the stuff that I was out with my buddies hanging out and I'm not getting into trouble, but getting out with your buddies and stuff. I associate more of that with the 80s Kiss.
Yeah, I would have to say if I was picking a favorite, it would have to be, of course, the originals, like you said, up to even at Dynasty, because back then, and looking back at it now as I got older, I'm like, that was a big change for them. But back then as a kid, that came out in '79, I was 6 years old. I was just happy to get anything Kiss at that time. I was like, yeah, this is Kiss. Listen to that album over and over. Even Unmasked, I was listening to over and over and over.
I listened to it all the time, but it was one that didn't hit the turntable as much as the other ones.
Yeah, but if I had to pick close second, it would be Paul Jean, Bruce, and Eric Carr. That lineup there, especially when they got to the Hot in the Shade, unfortunately, which was Eric's last. But yeah, that Hot in the Shade album, like I said, that gets a lot of crap from some people.
I love it.
I love it. And if we've got a comment, I got in trouble in the 80s. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but you said I got in trouble in the 80s. It's like, we never did that.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, we never did that.
It's funny, y'all talk about your second part being the 80s and stuff. My second favorite era has got to be the Dress to Kill era, because my first album was my first Kiss album was Asylum. Hello. And I remember watching one of those Evils of Rock Music, and they were playing I Live It Loud. And I was like, oh man, that's kick ass. So I went looking for that song, of course, before Google. So I looked and I saw Rock and Roll All Night. I go, that's got to be it. That sounds pretty real, So I got to think right before they broke into, big Super Kiss or whatever, when they were like in Winterland and all that stuff, they kind of didn't have that hunger until like the 80s, I think. I mean, I think they got big and they were kind of going through the motion. Their motions is bigger than a lot of bands, but that hunger was back in the 80s, in my opinion. That was like matched the early before Alive. So that would be my second.
And look at the eras too. Those first 6 albums were out within like 5 years, like basically.
Yeah, they
4
were
or 5 years. And now you're lucky if you get an album. I mean, we haven't had an album from Kiss since 2009 or 2011, whatever the hell Monster came out. But like they were cranking out. I mean, Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over, 2 of the most highly regarded Kiss albums out there, came out in the same year.
Yeah,
amazing.
So that was more of the Cohen wanted to get it out as much as he could back then.
Record tour.
Yeah.
And of course, tours didn't last 2 years like they do now, or in Kiss's case, 4 years with COVID.
Yep.
Robbie Browning, who is he's identified himself as the Facebook user, talking about he got in trouble with that. Robbie Browning, I have to talk about him for a second. This is a guy I played football against in school, and I'll tell you guys this funny story. We're getting a little off track, but as a I was in 8th grade playing JV football, conference championship, 2nd year in a row, and I'm like 5'4", 150 pounds. And they called me Stump. I look like a little stump. And this guy, Robbie Browning, played for the school we were playing against. He was the big running back. And I mean, he was just like, I looked at him and I was like, holy crap. You remember on what was it, Little Giants? What was the running back, the mean dude's name? I forgot what his name was. But anyway, this was like Robbie Browning here. He wasn't mean, but he was just a big dude, intimidating looking dude. So we tied the game up. And we're kicking off to them, and their coach would love to try some trick stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm on the opposite side of the kickoff team from him. And I was like, I'm going to hang back because he's going to try a reverse. Sure enough, I'm watching him. He was number 33. I will never forget it. Robbie, I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm watching him, and here he comes wheeling around. And I'm like, oh, crap. And you know how sometimes, don't run at me, don't run at me, don't run at me, don't run at me. And I'm sitting there hanging back, and I get a running start. I see him coming, and I lunge myself into him. And the only thing I can compare it to, and you can see it on video too, is you remember those little rubber balls you got out of the little 25-cent thing when you left the grocery store?
The little super balls.
When you bounce that ball off a wall, that was me. I was the ball going off the wall. And somehow I managed to hit him hard enough to knock him out of bounds. But he stood up and he kind of looked at me like I'm laid out on the ground there looking up. And one of the older kids from our school was keeping chains, and he was like, "You knocked him out of bounds." He said, "Are you all right?" I was like, But yeah, Robbie Browning, dude, I wouldn't embarrass you, dude. But that was just a childhood memory when he popped in. And yeah, Robbie was definitely a man out there in the football field. But all right, Steve, you're a vinyl collector.
Yes.
You talked earlier about the Kiss self-titled album before they put Kissin' Time on it.
Mm-hmm.
How big of a deal is that to get as a collector?
Not too bad. I have a copy. BB was able to, he picked it up for me. I think it's San Francisco, and it's beat to hell. I've played it a couple times. It's skips a couple times. It's beat up, but it's the first pressing without Kissin' Time on there. It's not crazy hard to get. It's I won't say it's one of the easier ones, but it may be one of the easier ones to get of the like kind of anomaly ones. I have a my Grail one is
that's what I was going to ask you next.
Is the misprint on Alive too. I had one of them in my hands when it was just open. My buddy got it for his birthday at a birthday party we were at, and we're like, oh, let's play it. I was like, oh my God, it's got Take Me on it, and it's got Do You Love Me on it, and so we were like, then we put it on. We're like, where the hell are these songs? And I need that album. And I messaged him about 6 months ago. I'm like, hey, do you still have your old Kiss albums? He's like, no, I got rid of them. I'm like, shit. But that's the one I'm looking for. I have the Teardrop, Rock and Roll Over. Actually, BB got that one for me too. So he's hooked me up with a couple ones like that. But I've quite a few, like the Red Dress to Kill one that goes for hundreds of bucks. I have that. Like I was able to jump on a lot of them early enough.
I remember seeing that Alive too thing in the 80s and knowing this is wrong. I don't want this.
Yeah.
Well, that was smart. But I remember having my hands like, Take Me. It's not on here.
Yeah, and just not even like even that, but just think of the Kiss shit that you've had over the years that you've thrown away. I mean, I had those huge posters that sell for hundreds of dollars a piece. The Kiss Meets the Phantom, a souvenir book that they put out when the movie came out. I bought 2 of them so I could cut out the pictures on both sides to hand them on my wall.
I had that Japanese, it was all in Japanese, The Kiss Life. And it was
really?
like I didn't understand it. It came from Japan like in the 70s. I got this in like the late 80s. I think I got it in the back of Metal Edge or something, but it was an all Japan book, all in Japanese. It had so many pictures. I traded it for something stupid.
I'll tell you a story that'll top all of you guys, and Warden's heard it before. You remember the white plastic toy guitar? Yeah, I had that, and of course, me and my cousin would get in there, play Alive too, and we do the acting out. So I got the bright idea one day. Okay, I'm gonna take it to the next level.
I know what you're gonna do.
Smoke bomb. No, smoke bomb in the. Yeah. Guess what happened?
Melted.
That thing turned into a big old white plastic ball. And I could kick myself every time for doing it. But there was so much stuff. I wish I still had the dolls. I had the dolls back in the day.
Action figures.
The action figures. We'll call it that. I still have my Viewmaster and it's got the Dynasty reels. I got that over there right now. And I still have the mug from my lunchbox. But other than that, just like my Star Wars stuff. If I'd have kept all my Star Wars stuff, good gosh. But I was
tired
throwing stuff across the yard.
Yeah, we had a.
I remember like back in.
Okay.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
I remember back in the late 80s, man. You could go into like a head shop, a used record store. You'd have the dolls there. You'd have the posters there. I would love to be able to go back there and just buy some of that crap. And it was. I remember I saw all 4 dolls in the boxes. It was like $400 for all 4 of them. I mean, it's like God. Imagine that today. Jeez.
My buddy Brian Mullen said, "Note to self: Steve is not allowed near my guitars." What are you talking about, dude? I can.
You just convinced,
dude. Your guitar would be all right with a smoke bomb in it. It's nothing like a good Ace Frehley smoke bomb solo with one of your guitars, Brian. We can do that.
Well, you didn't pull Paul Stanley and smash it, though. You might as well have, though.
Yeah, I mean, what else did I have? I'm trying to think of what else I had that I wish I still had. Jeez, there was so much stuff. Like I said, the Star Wars stuff was stuff that I wish I'd kept. I still have some of that, but all right.
More than one Peter?
Don't we all wish we had one of them? So, before we let Steve go, we're going to do we've started and Warden hadn't been here for a segment like this before. I've been doing this with some of my interviews. We started a new thing called the 2-minute drill. And what this is some rapid fire questions. You just whatever comes to your mind first. And some of them, if you give more than one answer, it's fine because some of them are like that. So Let me know when you're ready. We're not going on the clock, so you're not under
That's
the
all right.
gun.
Let
Under
it
the gun.
roll. Whenever you're
All
ready.
right. Favorite album?
Love Gun. No, we're just talking Kiss, right?
Whatever you want. Yeah, Kiss will be. We can do that. But
Okay.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Good man. Favorite artist or group besides Kiss?
Queensryche.
Heck yeah. Lake or ocean?
Ocean.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
The first album you remember buying?
Buying? God, I don't know.
You
I'm
remember?
gonna say Paul Stanley solo album.
Oh yeah. Favorite sport?
Baseball.
First concert?
Really?
Yep. Iron Maiden, Fastway, and Coney Hatch in August 18th, 1983.
Wow.
Nice.
That's my wife's birthday. But she was 6 then. So favorite TV show?
Not that you're old.
Yeah. NYPD Blue.
I got you. Favorite meal?
Hot wings.
Pineapple on pizza?
Never.
Favorite movie?
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Okay. Favorite song?
Ooh. I'm going to say Turn Up the Radio from Autograph.
Oh, wow.
Love that song.
Guilty pleasure. And what I mean by that is something you listen to that people might be surprised that you listen to.
Oh, Barry Manilow.
I
I have concert tickets for August.
Nothing wrong with Manilow. I remember my dad back when the Columbia, it wasn't the CD, Columbia Record and Tape Company was that Daddy used to get Manilow stuff off that. And I've listened to many Manilow albums.
He's a great entertainer. And there's a guy that knows his audience. We went to see him years ago, and he said, welcome everybody for a night of fun, passionate music. All you lovely ladies out there and the husbands that got dragged along. There's a guy that knows his audience right there.
Definitely. How old is Barry Manilow now?
He's got to be mid-70s. He's got to be.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to Google him right quick. Warden, what is your guilty pleasure?
The band I listen to? I like Michael Bolton.
Who?
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton. That's right. Barry Manilow's 79.
Ooh.
Wow.
Actually,
yeah, Stevie, I wanna play this game too.
Okay, we'll go through. He'll be 80
right.
He'll be 80 June 17th.
Oh, he'll be 80 when I see him.
Yeah.
Since we're kind of doing this the first time, I think we should all three do it. Stevie, and finish up Steve's, and we'll do our two. Kill some time.
Well, we'll do yours right now, okay? Favorite album?
Okay. Of all time?
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention. It's probably dang, dude. I don't know, man. I don't have a favorite. Back in Black. Back in Black. Back in Black.
Clock.
Okay, Back in Black. Sorry.
Back in Black. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Lake or ocean?
Ocean.
Favorite artist or group?
Favorite artist besides Kiss? Probably the Rolling Stones.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
First album or CD you bought?
Grease soundtrack.
Hey, I got some
album.
Grease.
That's
news.
awesome.
I got some Grease news coming. Favorite sport?
Favorite sport? Baseball.
First concert?
Whitesnake and Bad English.
Oh, wow. Favorite TV show?
Mad Men.
Favorite meal?
Chicken wings.
Yeah.
Pineapple on pizza?
Hell no.
Favorite movie?
Godfather 1 and 2.
Favorite song?
My Way by Kiss. No, my favorite song is probably Miss You by the Stones.
Okay, we've already heard your guilty pleasure. Before we let Steve go, because I know we took up a lot of his time.
Thanks for joining us,
good.
Steve. It was nice meeting you in person.
Oh, you're welcome.
But
Thanks
I want
for
to
having
talk
me.
about not only
He doesn't
the
want to
Potter
leave
than
us,
Hell-
Stevie. He wants to stay another 2 hours. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
I got
Not
enough beer
only
to last the show.
not only the Potter Than Hell podcast, but there's another podcast Steve's got that I'm a big fan of. I Remember Now, which he talked about Queensryche earlier. Big Queensryche fan, and talk how long has that been going, Steve, and how's that going for you?
It's going good. It's going kind of slow. It's with I do it with Ray Farrow and Steve from Uncle Steve's Iron Maiden Zone was with us for the first few episodes, and then he, with his commitment to his podcast and other stuff, he had to kind of bow out. So Ray and I have been doing it. I don't think we have 8 or 9 episodes. I think
Right.
we're not on a regular schedule, but we're trying to, get it more. So we have at least 1 episode out a month, and it's been going good. I saw Queensryche twice on the Monsters of Rock cruise about a month ago, and I took some pictures and I was sending them to Ray for him to post on our Twitter. And Michael Wilton and the band, they retweeted my pictures and gave me photo credits on it and stuff. And I've been a Queensryche fan since '83, since the EP came out. And I'm one of the fans that stuck with them through all the changes. And it's fun doing it. We do a lot of, we did a couple album reviews. We did a couple playlist things and stuff. And, but it's going good. It's going good.
I'll say this: I was not that early to Queensryche. I think as soon as I heard Operation Mindcrime, that was what got me. And checking out the earlier stuff after that. And like you said, I've been with them ever since then. I think one of the most underrated guitarists of all time is Chris DeGarmo. I mean, he doesn't get enough credit for that sound that he put, and of course, not with the band anymore. But man,
an amazing songwriter too.
Yes, and he doesn't get enough credit for that either. But that Operation Mindcrime, I know it. Some of the guys from Shout Out Loudcast bash it, but man, probably the best concept album I've ever heard, and I can listen to it start to finish over and over again. I love Operation Mindcrime.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And with them being split now,
you're like the elders, so that's not saying much. Right?
Yeah, and with them being split now, Jeff
a lot
Tate
better than the elders.
His thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. And with Tyler Torrey, the new singer now, he's absolutely fantastic in the band. And I'm glad that they're moving forward. And people that don't, I don't know, people that a lot of people that probably say they don't like the new stuff probably have not listened to it. Right. And I wish that people would give Todd a shot because he sounds great. Incredible. He does the old songs, great credit. And then the newer stuff is fantastic too. It's more classic Queensryche sounding than the last like 4 or 5 albums with Jeff Tate sound.
I will tell you this, and I told you I was listening to the new one, Digital Noise Alliance, and got 3 tracks in, and I'm like, this sounds like classic Queensryche right here. He sounds somewhat like Jeff, but he's got his own stuff to it. But this album here so far, and like I said, I haven't finished it yet, but he's got a lot more Jeff sounds. It sounds like if nobody knew it on what was the name of that song that I was listening to that it really hit me? Lost in Sorrow.
Oh,
when I heard that,
that's my favorite one on the album.
Yes, I rank them from 1 to 5, and I gave that one a 4. But yeah, it sounds so much like old Queensryche. I was like, this is awesome here. I'm looking forward to the rest of the album. But guys, go check out Steve on the Potter Than Hell podcast and check out I Remember Now. If you're a Queensryche fan, even if you're not a Queensryche fan, check him out. Steve, you've been a good friend. I know we've been messaging back and forth. Appreciate you coming on tonight. I know you just got off work when you got here, so appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule doing this because Steve works all the time, guys. All the time. I've never seen anybody work as much as he does, but appreciate it, Steve.
No, my pleasure. Absolutely. Thanks for the invite. I'm a fan of your guys' podcast, and finally glad to finally get on, to talk to you in person, if you want to call this in person.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And, it's just the whole podcast thing, the whole community. It's amazing. I've talked about it on our show that, I consider you a friend, and Jason, I'm considering you a friend. Like, I've made lifelong friends since I started doing this podcast, and it's crazy. My wife and I were going on a cruise in September with Sonny Pooney and his wife, and Stephen Michael and his wife. So, and I didn't know those guys until like 5 years ago. Yeah. And now we're going on cruises with our wives together. It's great. Our wives get along like they're long lost sisters. It's amazing. And
I personally try not to be friends with Stevie, but he keeps dragging me back.
Hey, we can make that happen, buddy. We can make that happen as far as what that goes.
We're going on a cruise together, Stevie?
No,
let's go on a cruise together, Stevie.
I think you should. I think you guys should go on the Monsters of Rock cruise next year.
That's a possibility there with the Monsters of Rock cruise. But I think I've talked to you about. I was like, there's so many bands there that I'd be like, and you had some tips on how to manage that with so many bands there. You just have to pick and choose, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's next March, so you have from now till then to get familiar with a lot of these bands.
Well, some of them Ace is going to be on this one, right?
Who?
Ace.
Yeah, Ace is going to be on it. Ace, except KK's Priest from KK Downing from Judas Priest, Joe Satriani, which I was like, wow, that's crazy that he's on there. Queensryche's back on this year. I have the list here somewhere, but
yeah, I've seen
there's like over 30 bands mentioned already that are going to be on it, and they usually end up with between 40 and 50.
Yeah. Brian, cruises all around on Stevie. Yeah, right. Brian, you're the high roller. You need to be paying for cruises for us.
I those bands sound great, but you saw what happened last week. I don't do boats. No. Being in the middle of the ocean and the water. No, that's not.
You don't even know you're on a boat. It's a big floating hotel.
I would know. Yeah, I would know.
Anyway,
I'm very angry about that kind of stuff.
Guys, Robbie Browning just he's commenting all around up here. So yeah, Brian, I know you're cruise luck, so we won't get you on a cruise. But guys, you guys listening, thank you so much. Never thought we'd get to 100. But you guys, and it's not like if I thought we were doing it and nobody was listening, or if we were doing it and it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it. But guys,
so that's what we're here to say. That's it. No more. Oh,
it's just like Steve said. There's so many people that I've got to meet and become friends with through this podcast that, just like I said earlier, when Kiss became not cool anymore, I was the only one around here and I'm still pretty much the only Kiss fan around here that I know of. But you get a chance to talk Kiss with some guys that you wouldn't get the chance to talk to on this podcast. And all the guests I've had, we've actually got two really big Kiss centered episodes that we've already recorded and will be coming out. We've been waiting to do 100. The next 100 will be even bigger than the first 100 guys. And thank you so much for your support. All you guys out there listening, Robbie, Brian, whoever else has commented, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Jason, thank you for coming along when you did, even though you aggravated. Look at that. Check that out. Potter Than Hell guitar pick.
Nice.
Now, do you play, Steve? Do you play?
I could play like 3 songs.
I can't play
and only the rhythm parts. We did it. We did
obviously we saw what you did to your guitar. So
yeah, we did a benefit a couple years ago for our library, and it was I played rhythm guitar, BC played drums, Dylan played bass, and we had a professional musician come in and play lead guitar for us. BB sang. We did Living After Midnight, Breaking the Law, Roadhouse Blues, and Blitzkrieg Bop. And they're the only ones I know.
Nice.
And it was fun.
More than I know.
We raised like $2,500 for the library that day. We had a bunch of bands playing. We went on first because we were just like, it was us.
I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Warden, but guess where Steve lives? Scranton, PA.
Oh. Are you an Office
fan? First thing you think about when you're Scranton, and you didn't watch The Office, evidently.
No, I didn't.
Don't. You're not missing anything. It's horrible.
Yeah, I tried it. It wasn't funny. It was not funny.
I should have worn my Office shirt tonight. I should have worn my.
Yeah, you'd be the only one that got it though.
I'll get Dylan, Stevie. He can come on and do an Office episode with you.
So what?
He knows it back to front.
Who's your baseball team?
I honestly don't really have one. I am currently rooting for the Mets because my niece is a trainer for the Mets organization.
Oh wow!
She's the trainer for the AAA team, and so I'm kind of rooting for them now. I just want to see a good baseball game. I want to see a good game.
Yeah.
I've been a Yankee fan since I was a kid. Like the '70s Yankees, Greg Nettles and Reggie Jackson, Mickey Rivers and Pucky Dent, all that crew. That was my team, especially then because my brother's team was the Reds, the Big Red Machine, and we knocked heads a lot in the '70s. So that predominantly my team, but I'm going for the Mets now because of my niece.
I got you. That's better than the Yankees. I'm not a Yankee fan. Not a Yankee. I'm an Orioles and a Braves fan. So, Warden, I know we all know who you pull for, Warden.
Who?
Not
Astros?
Too good. Not. Woo.
Rangers?
No. No.
All right, who?
I pull for the team that beat the Rangers in that last World Series they were in. I'm a big St. Louis Cardinal fan. I lived in Missouri for a while as a kid.
I've seen.
Yeah, I'm not a big especially Astros or Rangers. So
yeah,
I'm kind
hate
of a snob.
Don't you hate when people say, well, you should, people say to me, you should like the Phillies or even football. How come you're not an Eagles or a Steelers fan? Because I'm not. Because their fans are a lot of their fans.
Yeah, you're not an Eagles fan. You're smart. You're not an Eagles fan because you're smart. That's why.
And I just love that we beat. I'm a Chiefs fan. I've been a Chiefs fan since 1983. I like
the Chiefs too.
And when we beat the Eagles this year, I was like,
I became the biggest cheerleader too. I was so happy too. That's Stevie. Almost got me a Chiefs shirt.
Who was the Eagles fan that was talking so much junk? And have you seen him since the Super Bowl? Because the last time I asked you about it, you said he keeps ducking me.
They got awful quiet.
Oh, him.
No, I'm talking about Steve. Steve said it was an Eagles fan that was ducking him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my God, they boo Santa Claus. Come on.
Look, I've got a Ravens fan around here. Being a Steelers fan, that's a big rivalry. And there's a Ravens fan around here. And the week we played them, one of the games this year, dressed head to toe, hat. He probably had drawers on. I don't know, but he was like, yeah, we're gonna sweep y'all and all this stuff. Yeah, didn't happen. Guess what? Didn't see him for 2 months. And I came into it. It was a local restaurant. I came in to pick up some food from, and all of a sudden I hear him, and I turn around and look. I walked around there. I said, "Hey, buddy, where you been hiding at? I haven't seen you." His face, boy, he was like.
Hey, Stevie, you better worry this year because they got 80-year-old Odell Beckham as a wide receiver with his 18-time paired ACL.
Robbie Brown, you've been to Three River Stadium. You suck, dude. That was on my bucket list for a long time. Heinz Field is definitely on my bucket list, but Steve would definitely
you better get to that bucket, dude. It's about to
Heinz is not there anymore. It's not. I'll call it Heinz, but it's not called Heinz anymore.
Yeah, some corporate name now.
Yeah, it's an insurance company now, and I can't remember.
Wasn't Heinz corporate?
Well, yeah. But anyway, it was a good ketchup. The only kind of ketchup, Heinz ketchup.
Oh, I agree totally.
Yeah. We'll definitely we talked to you before, Steve, about getting you on the final score. We'll do our top 10 Kansas City Chiefs because I want to do one for all 32 teams, and I don't know.
Still waiting for the Cowboys invite.
Jesus. Yeah, I can't come up with 10 good Cowboys.
Yeah, they're not Ace Frehley songs. Sorry.
No, they're not. There's no torpedo girl out there. But anyway,
yeah,
guys.
10 of them beat your Steelers 96. All I gotta say.
Oh, but
one time.
Let's talk about one time out of 3.
It don't matter. It's the last one's what counts.
How many Super Bowls have you guys got?
I don't, man. I don't live in the past.
Yeah, you definitely don't, because it's been.
No, all I do is actually I do live in the past. I have to.
We can't remember back that far when the last time.
Steelers that, whatever.
Anyway, but guys, like I said, thank you guys so much for your support, and if you see it fit, wherever you see this podcast at, wherever you listen to this podcast, give us a 5-star review, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And just check us out. And Steve, check out Steve at Potter Than Hell. And I remember now. Warden, any last words?
It's been a hell of a journey, Stevie. I am so glad
you're retired.
Along. We just to talk Rod Stewart. And thank you, Steve, for joining us, man. 100 episodes. Of course, most of them were Steve because he works more than any podcaster I know. Because every time I turn around, he's online. But that says, Steve's a good guy. Stevie's a good guy. And I don't care what I say about you. Just want you to know that. You're a good dude.
Cheers to 100 more.
And I appreciate Steve meets you. Yes. Stevie will have 50 of them by next week.
We probably will. We'll probably have we've got about 10 and 10 backed up right now.
Yeah.
So the road to 200 will be a lot quicker than the road to 100, I promise you. All right, guys, you guys have a great night, and thank you again, and we'll see you next time on The Fly.